Thailand's beautiful, but it's also dangerous. Not because of the heat, or the food, or God forbid, the amazing, wonderful people, but because it gives you too much. Too much time, too much novelty, too much freedom, too much permission to drift. I came out here to focus, to expand, but I'm realizing that freedom without restriction is no freedom at all. Without a boss, without a fixed structure, with infinite dopamine options, my monkey mind went feral. And instead of freedom, I found fog. So let me walk you through a day in the life where I'm untangling this chaos, battling the fog, and finding clarity through violence. It's just one of those days where it feels like everything is immediately going wrong. I woke up at 4:30 and it was just death. Literally felt like the whole world was ending around me. And I literally wasted damn near 20 minutes. Just sat there thinking. I went to have a shit and I just sat there thinking, wasting time in stasis, I should say. And now I've just done a round of shadowboxing to get the energy up. I think it's worked, but I just threw out my shoulder doing shadowboxing. So why am I grinning? Why am I relishing in the fact that it's only before 5 a.m. and already the day seems to be turning on me? Well, it's because it's days like these that show us who we are and what we're made of. It's days like these where we show up, we put in the effort anyway. These are the days that actually make us progress towards leveling up our character. And I've got a freaking day ahead of me, I'll tell you that, which I will be sharing with you along the journey. But these are exactly the kind of days where I say, if you can't raise the ceiling, raise the floor. So I'm about to sit down and do my first block of deep work for the day, which is focused on creation instead of reaction. So the tasks that actually move me forward. And in this case, pretty much the only thing that will move me forward is creating content. Getting my message out there, attracting people who resonate. And reaction is all of the stuff that requires me responding to people. But to be honest with you, doing work this early without coffee is just like trying to run a car through a tunnel, but you realize that this is a tunnel that's just been painted on the wall by the coyote to catch the roadrunner. If that metaphor makes any sense to you, you're a true legend. But that's where my brain is going in this early morning, still a bit delirious state. So all of these business gurus who tell you, oh, morning routine is stupid, just get straight to work. Brother, do you know who you're talking to? You're speaking to people whose brains are still evolving from masturbating, eating freaking junk food, and just doom scrolling their life away. Of course they're not going to be able to focus when they wake up first thing. That's why we need to develop a morning routine to get us in a higher state of action and execution. Because, yeah, maybe on a good day, you can wake up, chug enough coffee to just brute force your way through the first task you need to do of the day and just get to work. But do you even know what you need to do? Do you have violent clarity about what you need to execute on? Do you think it's going to be to a good standard when you do it this way? I don't. I think if I just woke straight up feeling literally like a zombie, got straight onto my computer, it would be absolute torture and nothing but shite would be produced as a result of it. So that's exactly why I'm going to take this brief little time to do some breath work, center myself, get into a higher state of energy. So it's now nice and bright outside, and I've just exited a really nice flow state where I just got into the zone with some creation. I writ some absolute saucy gold. If you want to check it out, read the Instagram. Link is below, I hope. But anyway, the point is, I never would have been able to get into this flow state if I had just sat down with my brain still feeling like... That's why this morning routine is so damn important, because it gets me into a state of assault, of execution, of action instead of overthinking. And now I get to reward myself with some pre-workout, delicious breakfast. Because I'm about to go do my first Muay Thai session since I got here, which is quite frankly shameful that I waited so long. But I guess I was being a gym cell, you could say. But here we have the watermelon, obviously absolutely goated for citrulline. Not that I'm going to be getting much of a pump at Muay Thai, but it's very hydrating, full of electrolytes. And of course, we need some quick digesting carbs. So here we have dried banana with some raw honey. Absolute beauty. First Muay Thai session in the bag. I want to make it at least a twice weekly thing. But if it takes an impact on the bodybuilding training, it's immediately going to have to go. Because that's a mistake I made in the past. I tried to go all in on fighting while also training bodybuilding every single day, which was obviously a retarded idea, because both affect recovery pretty significantly. Obviously Muay Thai less so, because you can train it 3 times a day, 4 times a day even. It's mainly cardiovascular until you get a weird hit in sparring, until you get leg kicked enough times that you just can't walk the next day, until you stumble and you twist your ankle, or you kick and you do a freaking hyperextension of your knee, and then you're out of commission. You can't train. And it's so annoying, man, because theoretically you should be able to do bodybuilding and fighting, and they would complement each other beautifully. But with fighting training, man, there's so much chaos. There's so much unpredictability when you're starting to do live sparring and actually get hit in the face, get smacked in the leg. That's why, honestly, the best of both worlds would be doing bodybuilding every single day, or as much as your program dictates, and then maybe once a day, maybe sometimes twice a day, you get an instructor, you get one-to-one coaching, do pad work, Then you develop the skill and you get jacked without having to injure yourself unnecessarily. And then for sparring, bro, just go out in the street and fight. Don't be a pussy. You know we couldn't stop at just one half of the watermelon. We had to double up and make it a whole watermelon. And this time, it's frozen. Man, there truly is no better treat that is just ridiculously low in calories than frozen watermelon. Tastes exactly like sorbet, but even better because it's all 100% natural, one ingredient, couldn't be more simple, and it lasts forever. If you're someone like me who's a chaotic, monkey-minded lunatic and you're always going off on a rampage, chasing all these shiny objects, and you can never really stick to anything for the long term, and you know that's a problem, well, I have a little tidbit that I learned very recently that I'd like to share with you. So, when you get an interesting new idea, watch how it makes you feel. If it gives you this jittery excitement that like, oh yeah, this is it, this is the one, bro, just scrap it. Or sleep on it, right? Write it down. It's probably not the one. When it makes you high emotionally, it's just your brain craving novelty. And very likely, you'll begin executing on it, or you'll begin mentally masturbating on it, whatever phase you're in, whatever stage you're at. And then you wake up the next day and you realize, oh shit, what did I do? This doesn't excite me anymore. Or even worse, maybe you wake up a month later and you realize it doesn't excite you anymore. That's because you shouldn't chase what temporarily spikes your emotions like this, what excites you in the moment. No, when you get a new idea about your direction, it should make you feel calm. It should make you feel still and stable, because that is what you can actually dedicate the long term to, whether it be a year, 2 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. If it makes you feel calm, then you can probably stick with it for quite some period of time. Bro, I'll be honest, I forgot to vlog most of my day, and I'm in a bit of a state right now. I'm sort of all over the place, which is definitely not the impression I'd want to give online, right? But nonetheless, I'm sick of trying to show up as this polished product. I'm sick of having to record and re-record because it wasn't good enough, because I'm trying to present myself a certain type of way. I'd rather just share it like it is. So, essentially, what happened? I went to Muay Thai, had an amazing session, you've seen it, did some sparring, got a bit battered, and came back and ate. After that, my task of the day was to go out and about, take a bit of lifestyle content for the Instagram page, and then to just lock in and proceed with my appointment setting, because how else is a man supposed to make money out here in Thailand when he doesn't have a full-time job and his brand is still far away from being built? Brand is only built by those who are worthy. Clearly, I'm not worthy yet. So, in the meantime, I'm just doing a little bit of appointment setting, like a little bit of a robot monkey, if you can call me that, just to be able to sustain myself out here, right? And this job, this task makes me by default scattered all over the place, because I'm having to go out into the open market, source my own leads, gather them, have a lot of conversations, it's tiring, man. It's brain frying. And to be honest with you, I really, really have this problem of juggling different priorities. But I believe no matter what my life is going through right now, if I can get on here, if I can speak from the heart, and if I can just impact one life, even in the most minor of ways, even with a simple little mindset shift, then the job is done for the day. I always have to remember, that's what it comes back to, right? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter about myself or my results. I started this because I wanted to help you. I wanted to give back. And every single time I start selfishly chasing results for myself, like, oh, why aren't people signing up to my program? Why aren't I getting more clients? I always have to remember, bro, it's because I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Simply put, the position of coach, of leader, will not be given to me just because I really want it and I'm trying to brute force my way to it. No. The position of leader will be given to me when I truly have earned it. I'm home again and it's 8 p.m. Time to start winding down for the day soon because the alarm's going off at 4:30. I really want to eat right now. I really want to cook up a fat, juicy steak, have some of the frozen fruit that's in my fridge, and then just go to bed stuffed. But I know from countless experience that this will 100% negatively impact my sleep, make me feel way more groggy and foggy when that alarm goes off. So what am I going to do instead? I am going to wind down and reflect on my day, analyze how it's been. Let me show you the framework that I use. So I created myself a Notion template and one that I use for all my clients to help master our days. Here we have several traits that I find very important to me. Others might find different traits more important, but I rate myself at the end of every day, clarity, how much order was there within my mind versus how much chaos was there. Today, I'll be honest, it started out very rocky. I wasted time overthinking, but then I gained a violent clarity through motion. So, I'm going to give it a 4 because I later got dragged back into the chaos. And these are all traits that are within my control. None of the environment doesn't matter. Plus, I'm very harsh on myself. So, if I grade myself lower, then I'll keep having more room to improve. Stoicism. How stable was I with my emotions? Did I let the little things get to me? Did I react negatively to certain situations and thoughts? I'm going to give myself a 5. Decent, but still much room to improve. And I'm not going to actually do this whole thing with you because that would be a bit too long and my phone storage is about to run out. So I have here morning mastery. Did I complete my morning process? Of course I did. Promises. Every single day, it's important to set an important promise to yourself, and keeping it will reinforce this cycle within you that you are that guy, you have what it takes. And to be honest with you, I don't think I can tick this because earlier on in the day, when I had my lunch, my beef and eggs and my frozen watermelon, I then kept eating frozen fruit because I started to distract myself. I was watching an educational video, and so because my mind was still occupied and it wanted to stack more dopamine and keep itself more entertained, I kept eating frozen fruit. So unfortunately, I did eat emotionally today. However, I will recover by not eating right now. If I cook the steak and the fruit, then I will completely cave in and I will be eating emotionally despite knowing that I shouldn't. Next, we have the execution block. What did I do? Yes, all of this has been ticked off. This is my actual to-do list of the day. The most important things. Appointment setting, sign, fill up. I did not do that. I am going to do that actually right now. As soon as I end this video, as soon as I edit it, I'm going to sign, fill up. Well, I'm going to try to anyway. Phil is a very, very warm lead of mine who's on the knife's edge of becoming a client. I just have to say the right things to get him over the edge, basically. Yeah, and reads? Reads? Am I a fucking nerd? No. I should be a nerd because reading is very important if you do it right, if you do it strategically, if you don't just mentally masturbate like I used to, reading a whole bunch of books without taking any action. I did not read anything today, so I can't tick it. And now, finally, the most important section. How much alignment was there between my actions versus ideal future Matt, which is called accept responsibility? And I'll be honest, I don't really know what I was thinking here. I made this template thing a very long time ago. So, yeah, that's my template that I use to track my progress, stay accountable on the path of self-mastery. Let me just go over the traits again. Clarity, stoicism, execution, impulse control. These are the 4 most important things I need to work on right now that will make everything else just infinitely better. And how do I do this? Through my habits. My habits and my internal state, the literal thoughts in my head that I have control over. So that was the day. We're all wrapped up. It's time to put this together and go to sleep.